What's up, everyone? Konnichiwa, everyone. In my anime familiars back here for another live stream. Right now, I'm not doing anime live stream exactly, but I saw this video on my recommendation on my main channel, and I haven't looked at it yet, so we're gonna be blindly reacting to this together. Is this gonna be a short stream? Uh, no, because the video I'm gonna be reacting to is 30 minutes long, and I don't know how long my reaction is gonna be. Like, I don't know how many times they're gonna be stopping, how many how long I'm gonna be talking. So I don't think it's gonna be exactly 30 minutes. I think I'm gonna be making my reaction longer than that. And if anyone's watching right now, it'll be like, oh no, you're gonna be pausing and stuff. Yes, it's a reaction video. What do you expect? Just me? Do you want me to just talk over the video the whole time? Like, I've seen those type of people in conversations of reaction videos. Be like, oh, they're gonna pause the video all the time. Like, yeah, unless you want us to talk over the video, that wouldn't make sense at all. Well, exactly. Oops. Nope. Not. Oh. Wait. Oh, I haven't brought my display capture here. This, guys, sorry, this looks bad for a little bit. I was supposed to let me get this off the way. There we go. All right. Now let's react to this. First of all, let's read the disclaimer. Disclaimer, this video is not a critique of Japan culture. It is a series of reasons why, from a Western perspective, I guess it means like America, because I live in America. Western perspective, those from the West should not move to Japan without heeding much warning. I live in America. I plan to go to Japan in the future. I don't think that this guy can shake me away from going to Japan. And I know there's like huge things like, oh, there's stalkers over there. Like, dude, here in America, there's stalkers too. Like, I'm fully prepared to, like, whatever thing he says, like, a warning for Westerners going there, like, oh, there's this, there's this. And I'm just gonna be like, dude, America's just as garbage as any other bad sides of other countries. So I don't think that's gonna be that terrible. You guys can even look up videos of the worst things on the internet that most likely were filmed around in America. Like, very creepy things. So, every country has its extreme downsides, let's say that. Anything I describe as quote-unquote weird or quote-unquote strange are from my perspective and do not represent objective reality. Basically, he's just saying this whole video is just his opinion. Nor does it mean that I dislike Japan for possessing such things. Disclaimer, context will appear down here. Keep an eye out. Okay. Wait, what? Watch for source number here.
The Japanese archipelago. While in America, we have the boring and stinky metropolis known as Place.
I don't know what place is. Is that a place? Or are you just saying the word place? Like somewhere in America, like this is a place. Or...
Have you ever tried visiting Place, Japan? Ever seen this boring site?
Yeah, it's pretty
What
boring.
about in Japan? Well, this shouldn't be the only thing convincing
What?
you to move to this beautiful country. How about the wonderful work?
Oh, I dropped my strawberry milk. Ew. I'm sorry, that's being judgmental. That's nice. I never tried strawberry milk because for the fact that it sounds disgusting.
Everyone here
Just
is
my
treated
opinion.
fairly, and everyone.
POV salary man working for a black company. Oh yeah, I heard of white and black companies. Black companies are very sketchy, and white companies are better. Yeah, I've heard quite a bit of things from other people about Japan. It didn't scare me. Everyone would just be like, "Oh, that exists."
Especially foreigners
Even had a company say that employees need to pay them when they miss work.
are given plenty of
Yeah. Hold on.
Even had a
I watched her before. I recently watched a video that they literally have a thing in Japan where you can go buy something for your umbrella, because there's apparently umbrella thieves over there that basically you're going to buy something to put on your umbrella to ward people away and stuff. Either like Japanese curses and stuff, or maybe you can customize a text. Basically scaring people away from touching your umbrella. Doesn't have to be true, doesn't have to be fake. Just something to make sure they don't steal your umbrella.
Companies say that employees need to pay them when they miss work.
Yeah, I heard that about.
Given plenty of work opportunities at some of the world's fastest growing and technologically advanced companies. Or maybe you want to move here for the culture, which is fair and equal. It treats everyone, regardless.
I want to go there for like numerous reasons. The culture is one of them. Excuse me.
Regardless of race or
wait, what?
Move here for the culture, which is fair and equal. It treats everyone, regardless of race.
Wait, hold up.
Maybe you want to move
Did
here
I
for
just
the
say
culture,
racism
which is fair and equal.
in Japan?
It treats everyone, regardless.
Racism in Japan comprise negative attitudes and view on race or ethnicity, which are held by various people in Japan and have been reflected in discriminatory laws, practices, and action. Includes violence at various times in history of Japan against a racial or ethnic group, or against a racial or ethnic group. Oh, are they? If they're just saying people in Japan, some they'll like if they're racist, they'll put harm on the race. Dude, that's what happens in America. So what's the difference? According to the only difference that the news won't cover over here because of the bias. According to something statistics in 2018, 97.8% of Japan's population are Japanese, with the remainder being foreign national residing in Japan. The number of foreign workers are increased dramatically in recent years due to the aging population and shrinking labor force. A news article in 2018 suggests that approximately 1 out of 10 people among the younger population residing to Tokyo are foreign nationals. According to the CIA World something book, Japanese make up 98.1% of the population, Chinese 0.5%, Korean 0.4%, with the remaining 1% representing other ethnic groups. I don't know if they're just against other ethnic groups. Well, I know one thing. I've heard one thing quite a few times from people that for some reason Asian people are racist against each other. Like Koreans might be racist against Chinese, or Chinese might be racist against Japanese, or Japanese might be racist against Thai. I don't fucking know why this is a thing. Like, all you guys are Asian. Why do you hate each other? Unless it's like, wait, actually. That question may be answered if I just did some research about world history. Yes, Booba is best. Hey there, Dev Man. We're right now reacting to this. But yeah.
Regardless of race or sex, with respect and... Okay, fine. I'll stop glazing Japan. I'm sure you all have heard enough of that. Japan, for those living in -1 billion, has basically become a global cultural powerhouse, second only to really the United States and maybe Europe.
For how tiny the country is, I feel like they dominate most of the world, but that's just my opinion.
You are saying, bro? Europe is a continent, bro? We are different.
Why are Americans so stupid? Oh.
Different countries, bro. Typical America. Either way, most of this...
Wait, what?
Europe... second only to really the United States and maybe Europe. What you are saying, bro? Europe is a continent, bro?
Europe is a continent with quite a few countries, but considering, Europe is so small. Like, literally... the countries in there are so small. I heard from a guy that lived in Britain that it only took you a few hours just to travel from one country to another. Dude, at that point, just call Europe a country with a bunch of states, aka the countries that used to be there. Just like the American, like how America is. Because at this point, your states, your countries are so small over there. From what I've heard, I've never been to Europe, but that's what I heard. Urusindayo. If you tickle me, I'll screech like a goblin. I won't take you then.
We are different countries, bro. Typical America. Either way, most of this cultural significance is both a result of the aftershocks created by the Japanese economic miracle.
Note the economic growth in Japan from 1950 to 1975. It collapsed majorly in the 1940s, but then skyrocketed shortly after, and it's like right below
Miracles
America's.
throughout the 70s and 80s, as well as anime becoming wildly popular abroad within the past decade
U.S. anime markets, yeah, that makes
or
sense.
so.
Have like literally, I seen it in the comment section of a video.
As well as anime becoming
I was watching a video of someone reacting or like summarizing the new live action Snow White movie and saying how absolute garbage it is, with like the main actor like having crash outs on why people watching Minecraft over her movie, even though her movie sounds like it's direct turds. And then people in the comment section of that video, either was a short video, I don't remember, is people saying like, oh, anime is gonna be replacing terrible media over here in America, and someone said like, that's already happening, and it's like, yeah, I honestly, the movies over here in America are not doing that good. They're honestly trash, or at least the ones that are made by Disney and Illuminations and name other people that made amazing movies when we were growing up here, but now they are producing dog trash and dog water. And then you have it over here. Sorry, I'm coughing. Then you have it over here. Sorry again. I'm trying to think on top of my... Oh, solo leveling. Yeah, over here. Solo leveling from Japan. Literally annihilating the market. Like, literally. Like, literally a lot of people are glazing solo leveling. Glazing free rent. Glazing, Dandadan. For actually right reasons, though. Because they're fucking fire, bro. But yeah. There's a reason to this.
wildly popular abroad within the past decade or so. This cultural mega status has made the idea of Japan become more and more romanticized as time has gone on. I mean, you've probably seen it. If you go to your average...
Have you ever heard that there's a lot of people that watch K-dramas that are not even that are not even Asian stuff? Like, literally, there's this one short that was making a joke about this guy trying to dodge a K-drama, and a lot of the comments are in like English. I don't know if a lot of them are like just like non-Asian people, but like us non-Asian people are really eating this shit up. I'm not, even Asian people are eating this shit up. So
high school 13 years ago and say, hey, has anyone seen that new episode of Steins? Yeah, you'd probably end up like that guy. Nowadays, if you say something like, yo, anyone see that new episode of One Piece? At least one person of every ethnic and racial background on Earth will materialize into the room you're in.
If that ain't the truth, you can just say, you can just mention one anime and then like you materialize the fandom to come over to you.
And swarm you to engage in a lively debate about what just happened on their favorite cartoon last night, at least in America. The difference is
wait, do you just call anime cartoon?
Debate about what just happened on their favorite
hold up
room you're in, and swarm of every ethnic and racial background on Earth will materialize into the room you're in and swarm you to engage in a lively debate about what just happened on their favorite cartoon last night.
One anime fucking cartoon, get your shit right. You did research on this whole thing of why people from the Western world shouldn't move to Japan, but you can't do your simple ass research to know that it's anime. You shouldn't call it cartoons. Oh my god, are you this mentally fucking retarded? And I mean that in a respectfully way, because like literally, how do you do research on this about Japan but not make sure to not call them cartoons? Bro, what the hell? Are you gonna make up some BS reasons? I know this whole thing is probably just his direct opinion, they like the warning, but dude, they're not cartoons. It's called anime for a reason. There are tons of reasons why anime is not cartoons. It's literally, at this point, if you call anime cartoons, you're literally forcing yourself to be ignorant and stupid. Hey there, Singing, how you doing?
At least in America. The differences this had on American culture, and thus by proxy the rest of the world, has catapulted Japan into a new cultural renaissance in a sense. What's funny is that, historically speaking, this isn't the first time this has happened. You have
What
an
do you mean?
influence on Portuguese and Spanish art in the late 17th and early 18th centuries due to things learned from Europe's first contact with Japan, and the Japanese movement in the late 19th century spurred on by an increasingly open Japan starting in 1858. For whatever reason, Japan and its culture have captivated the world multiple times throughout history. However,
That's just because the Asian people are better. They're peak.
things are different now. Rather than a passing interest in Japan or a more reserved, oh yeah, they're pretty cool attitude that the rest of the world has towards them, we've seen an ever-increasing idealization of what can just be seen as another part of the world out of many. I know not all of you venerate
Wait, what?
ever-increasing idealization of what can just be seen.
I would never go back to U.S. living in Japan for Americans. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care how bad Japan is how bad Japan can be right now. Compared to U.S., it's probably paradise. Honestly, it's probably directly paradise. Have you been to USA? Have you heard that? Dude, literally people outside of America are mind blown on how much trash there is in America, on how absolutely diabolical what the government is doing right now. I think Japan is better than America, like over 100 times better. America is strict dog water. Adding Japanese to my keyboard, be right back. Dude, I'm learning Japanese on Duolingo. I've been like, I'm heading to my like second week soon. 12 ways Japan is living in 2050. They're way ahead of our times.
Seen as another part
Probably traveling over there is probably like literally like traveling to the future.
of the world out of many.
Okay, what the hell is this? Japan is obsessed. Why is Japan so obsessed with butts? Maybe because ass is thick. I don't know.
I know not all of you venerate Japan as some kind of utopia, but a lot of people now.
It is utopia. I'm not, but then I agree with that. I know that not everyone here is watching. Gonna be like, oh, Japan's amazing. Japan's gonna be utopia. At least in my opinion, like Japan is like awesome. And if you so far agree with my opinion, like how Japan's amazing, even not even living in Japan yet, then make sure to subscribe right now to become an anime familiar.
Definitely have this idealized view of Japan in some form or another.
Mhm.
Whether that be the belief of a superior nature, culture, art, media, fashion, etc. I've gotten pretty tired of the ridiculous amount of hype surrounding Japan, which is often propped up by
What do you mean ridiculous hype? Just cause you think it's ridiculous doesn't mean I think it's like well understood. Maybe you just don't like Japanese culture as much. Just say that. It's not ridiculous.
etc. I've gotten pretty tired of the ridiculous amount of hype surrounding Japan, which is often propped up by unrealistic expectations and, for better or for worse, anime. You might be thinking, on what authority can I have commentary on Japan? It's not like I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. And it was by far the most interesting trip I've ever been on. I'll weave my
You just said trip. That means you didn't live there. So,
experiences in and out of the video as needed, but I want to focus on a bigger picture viewpoint of the country before I dive deeper. The question I'm seeking to answer, broadly speaking, is this. Is Japan really all that amazing? Or is it just another
okay, let's be honest. No country is full amazing. If you're gonna be like, is Japanese fully amazing? Or is there like a bunch of downs? Like, dude, I already saw you doing this before I even clicked on the video. I saw this happening way beforehand. The answer is, whatever downsides there is here, there are worse ones in other places, including here in America. So don't worry.
part of the world that has its own goods and bads like anywhere else on Earth?
Exactly.
You can probably guess what my answer is to that question, but let's actually take a deeper, more objective dive into both the good and bad.
The fact that you say Westerners shouldn't go to Japan is telling me that you are gonna be trying to talk mad trash right now.
Bad things about Japan on a generalized basis. Without further ado, welcome, ladies and gentlebakas.
If you
Did
love
you just say gentle bacchus? Oh hell no. Guys, let me skip this real quick. Pie's a scam, don't get it. I haven't used it, but the fact that literally one of their, as I said earlier, that they're one of their founders made honey, and honey literally just been released, known that they are scammers. So I trust Pi.
To Japan.
Japan. Not so bad.
Now, to begin, is Japan a bad country? No.
I could name worse countries.
Not even close. Sorry, contrarian edgelords. I'm not going to be bashing the country.
Oh, so I was
country?
wrong. I thought he was gonna be dog trashing it.
No.
Okay.
Not even close. Sorry, contrarian edgelords.
But you were supposed to give me confirmation confirmation bias. Well, at least he's admitting that he's not gonna be dog trashing it.
I'm not going to be bashing the country as a whole for just having some issues. As an American, we all know how big of a double standard that would be. To prove that I genuinely do.
JK, I love my British cousins.
To prove that I genuinely do believe Japan has some really amazing things about it, let's talk about some of them, largely from personal experience. Just to get it out of the way, yes, I do think Japanese animation, as of now, is...
It's anime. Don't... if you're one of those idiots that be like, oh, anime is short for animation. Shut the fuck up right now. Just call it anime. I don't care who said that to you. It's not really lore accurate unless you want to pull up the fucking sources on how this is literally factual. It's anime. Shut up.
just better than Western animation. This isn't...
That's... Oh! Anime's far better than any... Dude, when honestly, I grew up on anime movies. I didn't really get to watch anime, but when I switched to watching anime shows... Every damn show I try to look at, even cartoons-wise, it's half-assed. It doesn't even come close. Anime demolished them. Like, literally, if you watch anime, it's kind of hard to enjoy our stuff just as good. Or maybe you should just watch other foreign content more than America's, because America's content is half-assed. Why? Because they censor way too much shit for younger audiences. Way too much. It is ridiculous how stupid the censorship is here, because how sensitive people are in America.
Because of some immutable characteristic or
one, I don't know, I never watched Big Mouse. Two, I saw some parts of Breadwinner, trash. That cartoon's trash. Teachers Go, I liked it when at the beginning, but then when I grew up, trash. But the animes here, One Punch, I have not watched One Punch Man. Hunter x Hunter, gotcha, love it. Attack on Titan, love it.
coolness factor.
Though I haven't seen the ending, so don't spoil that, even though it's
And I
kind
do
of
have
hard to
some
avoid the
objective reasons
spoilers,
behind
though.
this. For starters, Western animation for the longest time has been dominated by a top-down system. In this way, independent artists or production teams pitch shows to networks who have boards that decide to greenlight them or toss their pitch bibles in the trash. The show, in America and much of the Western world, does not see the light of day unless an executive gives it the go-ahead. In Japan, however, the system is largely bottom-up. For an anime to be created in the first place, it needs to be based on an already successful property created by an individual or small team of artists from the manga space. While these are often published by large companies, with the notable exception of stuff like One Punch, a property needs to be successful due to the work put in by an individual, which greatly increases its chances of getting a full animated rendition.
Which is better. It really praises independence and, like, literally, what's the word that, I think, I don't know, in rappers, I think it's just called independent artists, or, I forgot. There's like I think either just independent, or there's like a specific word in the rap, world, or, when you're not on a label. But yeah, it's like, you are better with the team because you have way more resources and more money. But I feel like the thing about companies is that they try to nerf your creativity as much as possible for whoever knows reasons.
This system, while not immune to the predatory practices and abuse...
Oh, I just remember, they try to nerf your creativity because, like, they try to align it with what has done well with them, and yours doesn't do well. They're too scared to try to think out of the side of the bus because they're too scared for their stuff to go down, meaning less creativity means that companies suck ass.
its chances of getting a full animated rendition. This system, while not immune to the predatory practices and abuse by publishers that we'll talk about later, it does result in a better, more fleshed out show as opposed to Western networks which constantly try to create the next SpongeBob or something and focus on comedy and pre-existing franchises to make a quick guaranteed buck.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, Japan is indeed a beautiful place. While it's not the only beautiful place on Earth, there are certainly few countries.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna probably he's gonna probably bring up quite a few stuff that I already heard that's negative about Japan, because I heard there are quite a few downsides to Japan. But if he names them all in this video, then I'm just gonna be like, oh,
riding on the Shinkansen
so they're not gonna say anything new. I already know about this stuff.
Distance, or taking a $12 round trip funicular to the top of some mountain to see the best views my eyes have ever.
$12 on the train ain't much. Have you been on Uber here? Have you been on Uber over here? It took me $20 for Uber just to go somewhere like around 30 minutes away. I don't think it's that bad over there.
Literally taking a local train to the airport on my way out. Japan.
Wait, what?
Themselves upon, or literally taking a local train to the airport on my way out. Japan genuinely is one of the most beautiful countries I've ever visited, and that's saying something after I've climbed mountains.
Dude, was that cherry blossom leaves?
Japan genuinely is one of the most beautiful.
Oh my god, that's probably cherry blossom. I think that's cherry blossom leaves. That, or that's just fall leaves.
I've ever visited.
It's still gorgeous.
And that's saying something after I've climbed mountains in the Alps, hiked through Grand Tetons, and marveled at St. Peter's Basilica. However, I'm not gonna pretend that Japan is pretty everywhere. Just like the US, just like Europe, just like anywhere else, it has its more boring and dull places. Don't believe me?
Fair enough.
Let's do an experiment. To try it for yourself, go to Japan on Google Maps. Then drag the Street View marker to basically anywhere north of the Tokyo Metro. There's a pretty solid chance you're gonna land somewhere that isn't ugly, but isn't the most beautiful place you've ever laid eyes on. Or let's just take the opposite approach. Drop it literally anywhere, pretend you don't see Japanese text, maybe at a Walmart and a mobile gas sign, and oh, there we go. We've just invented rural Montana. All that aside though, Japan is mobile gas sign, and drop it literally anywhere, pretend you don't see
Okay, talk to you later, see you.
Japanese text, maybe at a Walmart and a mobile gas sign, and oh, there we go. We've just invented rural Montana. All that aside though, Japan is definitely a culture that values and appreciates natural beauty, so you get more spots like this compared to this. Yes, the people here are very polite. The only rudeness I ever encountered here was from some like middle-aged North English dude who I caught the glance of a couple times at a gyoza restaurant, only for him to walk by me and say, "You're a fucking deckhead," multiple times before his friend came and apologized for him because he was very drunk apparently, which I've never heard of any British person ever being
Oh, hey there, Murder God, how you doing?
drunk in my life before, if you can believe it. Every person I encountered would always try their best to be friendly, inviting, and always greet me or whoever I was with a
I love that, because one thing, okay, I'm gonna say this in America. If there's any foreigners watching, when I say foreigners, if there's anyone who's watching my live stream right now who isn't from America, who is just thinking to go to America, here's a huge warning before you do. Racism is big here, and respect is rare. Respect is rare. And it's a hugely religious here. It's kind of hard not to find a Christian over here. And at least in my opinion, that's fucking annoying.
And to the Western-born Japan glazers racing to the comments to tell me how I was probably
Bro, you probably didn't even realize how rude you were being and stuff, because in Japan you can't start eating with your left hand first. What?
oblivious to the fact that they are shy.
First, because it's bad fortune. Wait, what? You can't start eating with your left hand first because it's bad fortune? Well, left-handed people are fucked. I'm sorry. Left-handed people are fucked now. I good. I'm playing Cards Against Humanity, and got broken up with. Oh. Well, at least you're here to have a better day, and fuck that. Fuck whoever broke up with you. And they will all hate you, but they won't say anything because.
It won't really tell people off
because they are shy, and you can't talk for other people's cultures.
First of all, that's not true. I've seen it happen. And second,
please stop infantilizing Japanese people and their culture. They are plenty capable of being me when they have to be. Yeah, just like me. Okay, take for me example. You guys know how nice I could be. You have never seen my. I've never been extremely dark before. I actually hold back what I can do because I don't want to be rude to people. I don't want to be mean to people. But there's a part of me that can literally be toxic as fuck. Behind every nice person is a toxic as fuck side. For toxic people, I don't know. But the reverse, I don't know if toxic people even have a nice side, to be honest.
And to the Western-born Japan glazers racing to the comments to tell me how I was probably oblivious to the fact that they are shy and won't really tell people off. First of all, that's not true. I've seen it happen. And second of all, I make sure to be as polite and gracious as possible when it comes to interacting with different cultures. I'm not running around Shinjuku with my shirt off spouting expletives at locals like what might happen in the walled city of New York or Trenton, New Jersey.
Fair enough. Like I just said, before you come to America, just know that whatever respect you got from in your country, think way less. Prepare to get way less respect over here, because people are fucking racist over here. Racism never died over here. It just became more silent ish.
Or something. However, as I mentioned earlier, a major drawback with this politeness is that, yeah, Japanese people are quite shy. I'll go more into this later, but it's just a caveat to everything I've said so far. Yes, as a musician myself, Japanese music is really secondary only to American music and beats it in some respects, and its ability to weave
Japanese music is way better than American music. You cannot change my mind. Actually, Korean music is actually way better than American music. You cannot change my mind.
different styles and customs together to create some really cool and unique fusion music. Classical rock fusion, an inherently unique style of jazz and funk, Vocaloid, basically most modern genres of music you hear today.
Wait,
An
hold
inherently
up.
unique style of jazz and funk, Vocaloid, basically
Shout out to Hase Miku, one of the best artists of all time, even though she's AI. I don't get the obsession with this thing. You didn't need to add that part in your video, did you? You didn't need to add that part in your video, did you?
most modern genres of music you hear today are either descended from American or Japanese.
Yes, I know Europe, specifically the UK, is important for global music too. They are? Since when? But nowadays, American and Japanese styles of music have remained popular globally, whilst Europe has lost some cultural relevance in 2000s. Damn.
Vocaloid, basically most modern genres of music you hear today are either descended from American or Japanese forms of music, or at the very least are echoes of earlier styles from those countries. But really quick.
Miku is AI. She's artificial intelligence. No, actually, no, never mind. From what I heard, now that I remember, Jenny told me in the past that basically, someone else's voice has been filtered over AI and stuff. But at the end of the day, Hasemiku herself isn't real. So basically, she's AI. Miku is a voice bank. I'm calling her AI because she's not real. She's made because the things that made Hasemiku a thing, or at least parts of the things that made Hasemiku a thing, is artificial intelligence. So I'm not trying to say she's not. Miku isn't fully AI, but she's part AI. Can you argue against me now? I'm gonna take Russian Duolingo. I don't know if it's gonna be accurate though.
Quickly, we have to do two-buck troop roll call.
Odin Valhalla
I
Rising.
do not
Now
care.
available-
I do not care. I do not care. I do not care at all.
Unusual Chief Guy Finn, Yellow, Premier Tabu TV Cat Mask, Jeff 2, Sokatone Soldier, Andy, Maggie Gordon, alongside
Wait,
CNN,
what is this?
Chloe Beavers.
Wait, what is this supposed to be? I'm gonna skip this because I think.
For just having some
Hold up.
Description.
Now
Oh,
that
yeah.
I'm worried off the people thinking I want to unfairly bash the country for just having some issues, let's dive into the real meat of the video. Why you wouldn't want to move to Japan, despite all the things I just mentioned.
And watch me deny every single thing and still go to Japan. I'm very fucking stubborn. The economy
If you want to
is way better than ours. It's way better than ours. Next
live
question.
anywhere on Earth, unless it's in some magical commune inside an anarcho-socialist head,
I go on my old school email and did Duolingo on it, and bro said, "Are you safe? Are you safe from Duolingo?" Wait, and I'll send a photo. Oh, what the hell? Excuse me.
if you want to live anywhere on Earth, unless it's in some magical commune inside an anarcho-socialist head,
Start writing. I don't understand why you give me this empty poetry book. I thought I was going to be finding cool after the revolution.
You gotta get your broke ass off the couch and go make some money. But how exactly would you do this around the world? Well, for now, let's just ignore the whole, yeah, you can't just work for us when you're on a tourist visa, sir, shtick that people love telling me. In America, let's find, okay, here's little Joshua, all right? He's 17 years old and ready to start working. Let's give him a job at Chipotle, I guess. You get like 5 people that come up.
Fun fact, I actually tried to go get Chipotle jobs. They're pretty much it's pretty much difficult as hell. Actually, 2 times the AI canceled on me. Be like, they'd be like, oh, we set up something for you. Be like, oh no, never mind. Also, sometimes it's really hard to even get in contact with them just to get ask the manager, hey, you do know I'm gonna come in, right? Or just let heads up, I'm gonna be coming. They don't answer. Chipotle's a dipshit.
To the line,
or at least for
hey,
customer
man,
service on a phone.
burrito, but please remove the seasoning and tortilla and add a few sprinkles of Hawaiian volcanic salt glass on top and maybe a squirt of horseshoe crab blood on top, and you just make it and put up with whatever. You get paid 15 bucks an hour, which isn't great, but if you split a place with some of your friends and you have a little side hustle or passion project going for you, you can definitely sustain yourself for now. You can also just up and quit if your boss is annoying you, you're tired of the job, or if you want to move on to somewhere else.
Fair enough.
We can even
hold up. There's a disclaimer at the bottom.
Quit if your boss is
You can't quit without completely ruining your social standing in society.
annoying you, you're tired of the job, or if you want to move on to somewhere else. We can even extrapolate this to higher education. Let's say you're a computer science major who, after wrestling a music major for the last bet at the homeless shelter, finally are able to extract enough energy from a nearby power line to both charge your laptop and pass an interview from some billion-dollar mega corporation who just opened their first CS position since the Precambrian. You're probably not paid as much as you like, but a lot of larger companies offer good benefits, bonuses for high performance, and a hopefully suitable work culture that can help propel you to the next level of your career, whether that be through promotions or applying learned experience at a new company. Now let's relocate little Joshua to the nation of Japan with a brand new working visa. Where can you end up? Well, you got about 3 options. The first one, and one of the more common ones for younger people, is being an English teacher. People seem to think this one's easy to get, but...
Wait, what? Wait. Oh, I thought there was like more options. There's like only a few options, and one of them is to be an English teacher?
Let's just see if that's really the case. The requirements are pretty reasonable. Are you fluent in Japanese? If not, good luck. You might be able to land a position as an assistant teacher or as a teacher in an international school. If you fill the requirements somewhat, good luck being picked out of potentially hundreds of applicants to any given job. Even if you fill all the perfect requirements, good luck making a living wage, enjoying a less stressful life, on top of learning to integrate yourself with local culture and adjusting to a radically different lifestyle.
Yeah, but America's not America's not better, so I don't see the problem with this.
According to this poster where they say, who from the West can live on $1,300 take home each month? Even if rent is only $400, you'd be living on $900 a month. Literally, Japanese McDonald's employees make around $1,200
who the
per
hell
month
cares?
to take home. As a trained and qualified English teacher in Japan, you're making less than if you had worked at a McDonald's in America and Japan. And that's
Why compared to that? Do you know there's a lot of complaints on how teachers over here aren't paid that much? So why make a comparison to a English teacher in Japan versus a McDonald's worker in America? How about make a better comparison on English teacher in Japan and like some type of language teacher in America? That'd be a better comparison than comparing like a teacher to fast food. That makes no sense to me.
That's after going
I understand it's like you're trying to compare their wages, but that makes no sense to me still.
through the massive Japanese bureaucracy to both be allowed to work there, paying to get over there, and getting set up in the first place, paying for daily transportation, and everything in between. But, as I said earlier, being an English teacher is a job that, despite the low pay for high qualifications, can at least be understood for being in this position. It's a lower demand, high supply industry that is shrinking by the year, on top of...
Wait, it's shrinking by the year, so basically less and less Japanese people want to learn English? I wish the demand want to learn different language. I think it's because how hard it is to find someone who actually would teach you the language. Because I've seen there's a lot of people who quote unquote teach you a language. They don't really teach you the language, and I just fucking hate them. That's why I was skeptical on going to Duolingo's. Like, do they actually teach you language? Because I've seen quite a bit of other places like, oh, we'll teach you language, and then it's like Google Translate type shit, where it's like, you don't really translate right. You're useless. teaching English in Japan is as a sun-setting industry. It is currently not what it was even roughly 10 years ago. When I broke in and the pandemic significantly accelerated its decline, even the major Aigawa um chains are cutting down on their foreign hires and cutting costs. As an example, my former Aigawa used. Wait, what if the only reason why the English teachers are doing it and laying down is because like maybe Japanese people are just choosing to go Duolingo instead? What about that? Or maybe they're just trying to find a better source to do it. Who knows? Because teacher, you have to go to a certain place, but we're in a digital age. Well, they're just trying to find digitalized ways on how to learn English. As an example, my former Aigawa used to employ 2 full-time foreign teachers. They have excuse me. They have one now, and some schools in the same company share a single teacher. Salaries certainly haven't kept pace with inflation and deprecating yen either. I'm not answering that, Makoto. Bro, I just started Russian Duolingo, and somehow I got 6 streaks. I can't tell you why.
You know, needing the proper qualifications to have the job. Okay, let's pivot away from that to more traditional industries. Congratulations, little Joshua, you've been promoted.
I have?
Let's chill in the chat, okay? Makoto, please just call the murder guy. If you can't just simply do that, then you're not respecting their wishes.
From that to more traditional industries. Congratulations, little Joshua, you've been promoted.
I have?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you your very own diploma.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Now you can work at a higher skill company of your choosing, but choose wisely.
To be fair, I think the middle one might be better because I want you to say Nintendo or Sony, but I don't know. Maybe Mitsubishi is better. No, Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi is probably better.
Because Japan has a wide variety of work environments from chill to... Anyways, good luck.
Albion on.
God damn it. Can I stop getting Albion Online ads? I'm not going to play your game. 3 months later.
Alright, it's been about 3 months. Let's check in on little
Why is he on the streets?
Hey there, buddy. What's up?
I haven't gotten more than 4 hours of sleep in weeks. Almost every night I go out drinking with my boss until we puke. Most nights I miss the last call for the metro, so I can't even go home. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, if you're a salaryman in Japan, get ready to live the lives that 19-year-old unionized Starbucks baristas think they do. Your bosses treat you as expendable. You live and work, quote, 40 hours a week, but you're often secretly required to work more. While what this poster said isn't going to be what everyone experiences.
Why Japanese works a minimum of 14 hours a day, 30 hours a week, overtime a week. If she tries to get help to reduce her hours, the response is she is ineffective at her work and needs to work faster. Yeah, one of the major downsides to Japan is maybe the workforce. Like, maybe the workforce over here is probably more lenient than over there. I mean, it's not easy to get into the workforce over here, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be they're as hard as you than over there. So I still don't see that as a deal breaker. I just see that as to be like, oh yeah, that is kind of garbage.
On a general note, is unfortunately a common thing in Japan. Quote, my wife, Japanese, works a minimum of 14 hours a day.
Such a sushi queen gasoline machine. Wait, what? Ice cream? What the hell? Oh, joke? Oh. I'd be like, why the hell are you trying to shit talk some people in live chat? Yo, you think I will be good at learning French?
A day, 30 hours overtime a week. If she tries to get help to reduce her hours, the response is that she is inefficient at her work and needs to work faster. 14 hours a day. That leaves you a maximum of...
Yeah, 14 hours a day is crazy. That's crazy. That means you only have like 10 hours left of free time.
2 hours of free time if you want.
No, it doesn't. Wait, 14. Yeah, you're wrong. Like, literally, you have like 10 hours left of free time. Oh, wait, but like sleeping takes. Oh, I forgot sleeping takes a good bit of that. Yeah, your free time isn't that big.
Want to get 8 hours of sleep. In Japan, it's entirely expected for you to go out drinking with your boss very frequently. Does this seem like a dumb idea? Yeah.
Why would you need to go out? Wait, I used to work for a 8-year-old Japanese dinosaur a company. Women engineers same quote unquote level as a male counterparts had to serve tea and coffee to the men during meetings. Couldn't leave until after your manager, and sometimes they'd be pricks and stay till 9 p.m. Had to go drinking way too often. Worked most weekends, etc. Okay, working on weekends isn't that bad if you choose to, but then if you're forced to, that's kind of shitty. Recently, Nomi guy, what this is referencing, have become less stringent over time. What the fuck does that mean? But some companies still tacitly, I don't know what that word means either.
It does.
Require people to move up professionally.
You to go out drinking with your boss very frequently. Does this seem like a dumb idea? Yeah, it does to us living in guild cultures at least. Expecting that from somebody in America and making them feel like shit the next morning just for the sake of a drinking challenge would make many.
Again, although drinking isn't mandatory, it is common in sight in major cities such as Tokyo.
Of us, regardless of status, probably feel pretty guilty. But in Japan, a lot of times it's an expectation. If you don't go out that night to drink with your boss that you don't even like, good luck having any future job prospects in the company or gaining the respect of your employer. On top of this, because a constant well-organized.
So if you don't want to drink, it doesn't matter. Well, damn.
Organized output of work is constantly required, lest you bring shame upon yourself.
Unless you bring up a shame upon yourself. It's horrible. Japanese companies are the worst. Japanese companies don't care about efficiency and finding the best and the fastest way to get things done. They want to keep doing the same thing that they're used to, even if it costs them more time and effort. Everybody is scared of change. They follow stupid rules that were made 40 years ago by some idiot who's probably already dead without thinking. If you try to improve things, you will face resistance and encounter problems. You will then be ostracized and ignored. If you find something stupid or does not make sense and try to talk about it, you will face brainless zombies telling you the rules is this and that. Shogunai. That's it. Nobody tries to challenge things or use their brain. Critical thinking is non-existent. Rules are sacred and must be followed at all costs. After working for a few years, if you could survive that long, the stress and frustration keeps building up inside of you and starts to show in your daily life. Life gets dim, run quickly before it gets too dark. This applies to most traditional Japanese companies. It's not about the company, it's about the Japanese culture itself. So that's why they were talking about the dwindling. Oh, now it's making sense of why they have that. Do you guys know that there's actually a word for death by working? Because in Japanese, there is a thing that you can die by working so much. Yeah. Even an anime called Zom 100 has showed that in the beginning, where people literally joke around, or maybe, I don't know if it's a joke, literally saying like competition on who pees blood first. Due to how much caffeine they try to put in. It's like, huh. They put a lot of work in, but they don't change things up. Interesting. For me thinking about moving to Japan, I never said that I was gonna work at the I was never thinking about working at the Japanese companies. Like just moving there when I have like a job that I can still do, that I can maintain, but I'll just be living in the country. Like say if a Asian person, European person, or African person were to like move over here, or South American, person move over here. They already have a job, like they either like popping on YouTube, already have a good business, and they just move over here just to have because they want to live in an environment and stuff. But they already have a really good job. That's what I'm thinking. Like I'm not gonna just like switch some jobs and try to get like a Japanese type of job. So I want KFC. Sure, give me some macaroni and mashed potatoes and maybe some chicken. Average Mappa employee, dude. The memes from Mappa employees are crazy. Have you seen the anime guys? They make jokes about literally how they're yelling at their employees and how they animate Jujutsu Kaisen. Exactly.
Things better not change at the company, and you better not bring any concerns up to your boss. And the thing is, if you don't suck up to your boss or authority figure in some way, you're gonna get absolutely shafted and go nowhere very quickly. This is all pretty bad, but to be completely fair, not 100% of Japan is this way. Not every company's gonna treat you like garbage, ignoring the fact.
This is very this must depends on the company. Yeah, because those are called black companies, I'm pretty sure. And there's ones that are called white companies, aka they're way better than that. There isn't no one right answer. You have everything from modern, open and flexible workplaces to extremely conservative, rigid and traditional workplaces, and everything is between. Oh, this is just like America.
Fact that you're a foreigner, and you're not always going to be working 45 hours of overtime a month. On top of this, much of the world also sees unfair practices such as this. So, you might be asking, how does Japan uniquely stand out in this category among developed countries? Yeah, we have yet to talk about the wonders that are known as...
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The black companies are really shitty. This is all stuff. The things that's so scary about the workforce right now about this. That's the black companies. That's not the white companies, because white companies are different. And you know that Ginger that was talking earlier, and some people call her redhead. She's fucking ginger. There's no such thing as red hair and people. That's orange hair. That's ginger. Unless you're colorblind, it's ginger. All right, I hand spare mac and cheese and mashed potatoes. Yay! I mixed them both together and put ranch inside. If you dare judge me on that, I will ostracize you. I'm joking, but you shouldn't judge me because that's just rude. Because let me go ahead and judge what you eat. Huh? Yeah, I didn't think so. Mizu. Yeah, Mizu. I love Mizu. Actually, right now I'm drinking ocha. Lovely ocha.
What's a black company, you might ask?
Yes,
Well,
I know
and
Mizu is word in Japanese. I am learning Japanese in Duolingo. I'm not an idiot.
Imagine the worst case scenario of a job I just mentioned and make it even worse. How exactly? Well, we have a wonderful source here from this utterly fascinating Instagram account called literally Salaryman Tokyo. He details his day-to-day life working for one of these companies. In this video, our hero describes an utterly horrific work culture. Oftentimes, black companies target young workers or foreigners, like our little Joshua, because they genuinely just haven't heard about black companies or the work environment. They'll work you to death, giving you meaningless tasks and threats if you don't complete them on time. Bosses don't want to help you, nor do they care about you in the first place, and just expect you to sit down and shut up. You just work all day, tirelessly, lest you summon the rage of your boss, all to make it home in the bum-ass middle of the night to get like 7 hours of sleep if you're lucky. Well, gee, that sounds kind of bad. I'd quit right away if I were them.
Wait, if you were a patient...
Oh my god. Literally, go away.
Yeah, right. Let's say that you've had enough and you're sick.
The most advanced computer in the world is slower than the average brain. Dude, the second we have a PC that's fast as our brain, or Wi-Fi that fast as our brain, is the second AI is literally almost here to becoming sentient. Which, actually, I take that back. So AI cannot ever be sentient. Whoever tries to give off the bullshit lie that that AI can ever be sentient, you have to think of this. We have to program AI to be sentient. We're the programmers, fools. We're the legend programmers. AI is not taking us over. Not at all. Literally, someone has to program AI to do that. Use your brain. Just for anyone who's thinking like, oh, what if robots take us over in the future? You're just asking if someone's gonna program AI to take us over in the future. And if someone tries to do that, let's off them off. Let's off them off. Who's gonna stop us? Each raindrop is a tiny piece of the sky falling to tell us stories from above. That's an interesting theory. That's probably not
Sick of
true.
being treated like glorified
Sorry,
property.
this is my
Let's
opinion.
stick to the man and tell him that I quit. Yeah, we're gonna sue the shit out of you. What? Yep, if you leave, we're just gonna have to sue you down to every last atom of concrete in the foundation of your house. Yeah, you heard that right. Your own company that treats you horribly, almost like they didn't want you to be there, will make sure that you're walking away from them pretty much empty-handed. And even if you can avoid this fate, they're probably gonna sabotage your future job prospects by emailing future employers and trying to blackmail you. Again, since Japan is largely a shame-based culture, many of these companies will, out of fear of bringing shame upon their company and customers, not hire you. On top of that, even if you get past that stage, they might make you write an apology letter to guilt trip you. They're playing to both shame and guilt culture here, which is truly sinister. In
Yeah,
America,
another thing that one ginger content creator that lives in Japan that worked as an English teacher has mentioned. Yeah.
we'd probably just say, yeah, fuck you, I'm not doing that. And we'd probably be fine. On top of that, word would get out about this company doing this kind of shit, and they'd either be put out of business or at the very least, see both internal and external pressures from investors, customers, and the government to at least partially change their ways. Despite how rough we got it over here, at least Western society has a strong enough influence on companies.
Well, that's because we all been there. And the thing about Japan's all about respect, and they probably think of respect to everyone, even the dipshits. But America, respect is very few.
Organizations to universally shun practices like this, unlike turning a blind eye to it.
For the most part, I know workplace abuse still exists, and I'm not discounting it. Just noting how society doesn't turn a blind eye to it, especially in Europe.
Like what happened
True.
in Japan. Just to be real, this is not saying the West is superior or anything like that. It's just quirks of our culture, and that Japan is a very high trust society, which is kind of the opposite from the
A low trust society is defined as one in which and interpersonal trust is relatively low and shared ethical values are lacking. Conversely, a high trust society is one where interpersonal trust is relatively high, and where ethical values are strongly shared.
US. All right, let's just leave all traditional work behind. Let's say you're an artist and that you want to work for an anime studio or draw for a living. Well, I hope you enjoy having every last drop of creativity and your enjoyment of your work sucked out of you by big publishers attempting to work young and inexperienced people to death with little.
I know someone who went through this. I'm not gonna name drop them, but I know someone who went through this.
pay.
Yeah.
Young people, often from lower income countries such as Bangladesh, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, etc., even have work outsourced to them simply because they will work harder for less money. Big studios will use their beloved lineup of shows and create a sort of wow effect to create an idealized vision of what being a part of a team that creates an anime is really like. If you remember, about a year ago, the studio behind the anime Jujutsu Kaisen, MAPPA, was under a lot of fire.
Oh yeah, by the way, fuck Mappa. Fuck Mappa.
For working their animators so hard for such little pay that they could barely keep themselves afloat and had to make a choice between.
Just be glad that the stuff at Mappa are delivering such quality episodes while working under such hellish work schedules with no sleep and not even seeing their family for days. Yeah, Alex Spirits, you're my friend now. We were having stuff. Can we have ramen instead of soft tacos?
Between seeing their families or keeping their jobs. Long story short, in
Oh, sushi.
2023,
Actually, making sushi.
it came out that MAPPA had forced its employees to sign a non-disclosure agreement related to
September 30, NDA revelations. On September 30, Twitter began buzzing with news that Mappa allegedly forced its employees to sign an NDA about the working conditions, and behind the scenes whistleblowers struck a chord with the anime fans.
the working conditions of the company. It's basically forcing them to stay silent against their will. A common
Yeah, a certain well-established anime studio is currently making waves for allegedly having presented employees with contracts and forbidding them from complaining about poor schedule and working conditions of one of their recent works. Not 100% confirmed, but given everything. Excuse me. Everything else is definitely possible. Mappa is probably one of those
they use is
bad
outsourcing
companies.
the drawing of in-betweens, basically like
There was a Twitter post about this back in 2023. I can't find anymore, but someone from Bangladesh was describing their poor pay for high work with
between which an
Mappa.
animation will move and pay those artists, often newer and experienced ones, per still they draw. You might be thinking, oh yeah, it's probably, pretty quick to draw these and they might get paid like $10 a drawing. Yeah. How about averaging around $1 to $2 per completed drawing? That
Called Dugamin. The not Duga. Is it Duga? It may be Duga. I'm not sure. The average. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I'm yawning. I shouldn't be yawning. The average pay for the average Ginga man was in 2019 about 36,000 per annum, and the average salary for Doga men, an average grilling job was about 12,000. Breaking that to the 40-hour week, and that's about $17, $17.31 dollars per hour, and 5.76 per hour respectively. $5 an hour is actually really shit. This is according to the Japan Animation Creators Association. The real kicker: Japanese animators work far more than mere 40 hours a week. Indeed, many animators work every possible waking hour, 7 days a week, and have little time for everything in their lives beyond their jobs. Some work constantly and just barely make it ends meet, and wages are not increasing. Oh, well,
can take anywhere between 10 minutes to an hour to complete. Essentially, most animators in the industry can expect to make about the same as a U.S. minimum wage worker.
What's up?
Why are you popping on my page? Why am I getting ads every 5 seconds?
1997. Animators in the industry can expect to make about the same as a U.S. minimum
YouTube,
wage
you're
worker.
amazing with your ads.
In 1997.
Amazing.
In an economy with a frequently weak and volatile currency, even if you're a higher paid individual, the amount of time you'll have to work will be absolutely soul crushing. Expect up to 11-hour days with this previously mentioned low pay. Even disregarding the ridiculous hours, you can't even compare it to similarly low paying jobs elsewhere because often people can work second jobs. Many of my teachers growing up would also do bartending on the side or run a separate business because they had mostly free weekends and time over breaks to make money. This isn't even possible with an 11-hour workday schedule. Okay, fine. Let's say you land the perfect job, are treated well, and genuinely enjoy your life. Well, good luck seeing any meaningful growth in the industry you work in and the economy you live in. Japan, since the 90s, has been struggling to grow economically. They basically tried everything under the sun. Negative interest rates, enticing foreign workers, government programs.
What was that?
They basically tried everything under the sun. Negative interest rates.
They just recently became positive again.
Enticing foreign workers, government programs to help stimulate the economy, etc.
Wait, what was that one say?
Interest rates, enticing foreign workers.
Making Japan a country of choice for foreign workers.
Government programs to help stimulate.
What is Abenomics? Abenomics is a nickname of economic policy said for Japan in 2012. Then Prime Minister Shinzo Abe came into power for the second time. Abenomics involved increasing the nation's money supply, boosting government spending, and enacting reforms to make the Japanese economy more competitive. The economists outlined the program as a mix of reflation, government spending, and growth strategy designed to jolt the economy out and suspend animations, and has gripped it for more than 2 decades. Since foreign countries are like people from different countries shit on America, can I shit on this on how stupid this is?
Economy, etc. Almost none of this has worked. It's gotten to the point that Germany, an economy that 20 years ago had a third of Japan's GDP, has recently just surpassed it. And while this is a problem that is less tangible than, say, the aforementioned black company thing, its effects are felt societally and on the macro scale. The yen is volatile and weak against the dollar and euro. As an example, when I went in July, $1 ended up getting to a wild 160 yen. By the time September came around, it had fallen to 140 yen per dollar, aka the yen became more valuable. Now, as of December, it has risen back to almost 150 yen to the dollar, nearly breaking 160 yen in mid-November. So, if your plan is to make some money and leave, Good luck keeping the value of your work in place. While it might sound good that the fluctuations can go up and down,
I think it's like more of a, if you're a minimum wage worker over here and you're bringing money over there, prepare yourself to make sure you don't have to make money over there. Cause like you could probably be poor over here in America, but then become like pretty wealthy or minimum, and like in the middle class over there. Because I've already heard about their economy, how basically their money, like you get $1 over here is way more over there.
and maybe you could time it, the volatility affects both the economy of Japan and your ability to find suitable work. While I'm not going to pretend I can give you a dissertation on the macroeconomic effects of currency instability, just know that it's not really a good thing. And just a quick aside, if you like this type of content, want to see more of it on this channel, just let me know by subscribing.
Oh, shut up.
The economy is great.
No, subscribe to me if you want me to react to more of this guy's content.
I'd love to start a discussion about my findings and opinions. Alright, fine. The work sucks, the economy isn't great, but let's just ignore that. What if little Joshua wants to be a content creator, like those cool people he's seen over on YouTube? They can work for himself and not to put up with all the bullshit of the black companies or the job.
Yeah,
Those cool
basically.
people
Yeah, the workplace sucks, but the economy is amazing over there.
seen over on YouTube.
That's true.
They can work for himself and not to put up with all the bullshit of the black companies or the job market in general. Well, the problems don't really end there. To succeed in any new culture, you gotta, to the shock of many of my fellow Americans, integrate with said new culture.
Excuse me.
With that comes learning a new
Excuse me.
language, understanding local customs, and being privy to their expectations. And oh boy, while Japanese culture might seem cool on the outside, on the inside, it's really a hidden leviathan, ready to devour those who are not prepared to adapt quickly and appropriately to its requirements and off-putting aspects.
I mean, it's a different culture. Directly. Have you guys ever heard of culture shock? Yeah, prepare to get that probably in literally any country you move to. Every country has a different culture, but maybe not Europe, because they're probably almost similar to us. Not really fully, but you know. But say like you go to Africa or China or Russia, or I cannot name a single country in South America, to be honest with you. Or Australia. Culture shock. They're different.
Odin Valhalla Rising.
I do not care. We just got out about you a few seconds ago. The culture.
Gee, I know the job market over here is bad, but I'll find a way. Just like my favorite anime character, Itsumi Rinkaro from Ota Ota Rinkaro. Everyone will learn to love me, and I'll learn to love and appreciate them too. Then, one day, I'll find—
Dude, why the fuck you talking like you're an anime character? This is the type of shit that people think, like, oh, you try to speak Japanese and you watch anime, you're cringe and stuff. Because you exist. You're not trying to talk like an actual character. You're trying to talk like your voice acting IRL, which is cringe.
true love from an extremely skinny and pasty white woman with blue hair, big eyes, and massive tits. Let's be honest. Here, Japan has a bit of an image problem. And I don't mean a Dr. Disrespect kind of image problem. I mean one of unrealistically high expectations. Whether that be due to an incorrect perception of Japanese culture because of anime,
Place Japan.
a belief in a purely honorable and polite nation, or some twisted hypersexual interpretation of its lifestyle. As much as
To be honest, hentai literally changed a lot about the stuff in XXX content. So, yeah, they might do some stuff for us, but you gotta understand, there's a lot of that is their culture.
as I understand, most don't fully believe in any of these three ideas. You'd be hard-pressed to find people in the, quote, Japan is amazing crowd who don't fall victim to one of these misconceptions. In this part of the video, I'm gonna weave my own experiences alongside the thoughts and experiences of others to make sure you're getting the most well-rounded view of it all. For now, let's start in a more generalized place and work our way inwards. Xenophobia is something many of us have heard from Japan. If you're new to the
I heard about that they have xenophobia in Korea. I didn't hear about that in Japan.
English language or aren't totally sure what that means, you're probably not American. But what that basically means is the fear of people from other countries. Again, while I must stress this is not a universal statement for Japan, many foreigners
Guys, sorry about that. Someone majorly disrespectful, didn't even knock and just like interrupted, and also put something somewhere where it shouldn't be. I'm sorry about that interruption.
Of people from other countries. Again, while I must stress this is not a universal statement for means is language, you aren't totally sure what that means, you're probably not American. But what that basically means is the fear of people from other countries. Again, while I must stress this
Basically racism.
is not a universal statement for Japan, many foreigners, often due to race or ethnicity, are discriminated upon in Japan. This obviously happens in other
Have you ever heard of the story that what happened to a guy, happened to a black guy in China one time? I heard that this one black guy said that, or black woman said that literally, they were just walking out, and like literally just out in the open, just taking a walk and stuff in China, or maybe it was that or some type of different Asian country, and they said a bunch of natives or people that are from that country came and tried to start washing them off, and he asked them, "Why are you trying to wash me off?" And they said that they're trying to wash the dirt off them. So yeah, it's not the first time I heard this. So yeah, the point is that much of Japan's society turns a blind eye or doesn't care about this kind of behavior, while much of the rest of the world, at least, has a negative view of it. Again, this is not true of all of Japan, just some of it. Yeah, and then you also have racist people over here in America. So what's the fucking difference?
But the main reason I'm talking about it here is because
the thing is they do racism in a different way in Japan and all different countries. But you gotta understand, America is also shitty at that too.
Japan is, again, often idealized unnecessarily and tends to attempt avoiding this image. While the problem is often overblown a bit, there are lots of subtle things that may or may not affect your ability to live here comfortably. I will say, personally, I didn't experience any noticeable discrimination, but I'm also a tall, skinny white guy, so there's that.
Yeah, over here I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna get discriminated against, because I'm literally fucking white. I'm literally white. Literally, many people have made jokes about how I could blend in with cum or snow on how white I am. If you guys have seen me turn on the camera before, and there's even barely light outside that comes onto me, my face starts glowing and stuff. Literally glowing like it looks like a light bulb. That's how white I am. I don't think I'm gonna get discriminated against. But by the way, guys, to anyone who see me like shit talking America a lot, even though I live in America, I was never really patriotic at all in my life. Not ever in my life was I extremely patriotic. Actually, more later in my life, I became less and less seeing that this country is utterly trash. And I'd rather praise other countries than ever praise this country once. But yeah, that's just my opinion. But yeah, I know there's a lot of downsides to Japan. That's why we're watching this video. But goddamn, will I ever keep on saying how way worse America is.
An anecdote from one of my friends I'd like to tell is this. His dad, who's Puerto Rican, which if you didn't know is an island territory of the United States that's mostly inhabited.
Puerto Rico, I'm pretty sure Puerto Rican is like they speak Spanish, aka they're one of the people that if you're Puerto Rican in America, there's probably some racist ass douchebag that's gonna call you Mexican.
By Hispanic people, went to Japan on a business trip sometime before COVID. Just a note, his dad specifically is definitely not a white person. After arriving at this hotel, he decided to get to the pool. Once he got in, every single Japanese person got up and left. There's instances of stuff like this on public transport, people getting up and moving seats, etc. It's not overly common, but it's also more noticeable than in America or Europe for most places. Like I said, every country has issues like that, but I want to help bring some people.
That because in Asian countries, if you guys never heard this, in Asia, I've heard this on the internet that in Asian countries, basically they see white as beauty. Even though America has a lot of people that say like, "Oh, black is beautiful," if you go to a Asian country, a lot of them are gonna be like, "Oh, white is beautiful," and so white is beauty over there. So it's like the opposite. Is that I don't want anyone to say, "Oh, that's racist." Like, dude, that's a different culture. I'm not saying anyone was gonna say that, but I know there's probably gonna be someone to be like, "Oh, that's racist" and stuff, and like. Literally, we have people over here that are racist against racist against white people, but they don't say it because, like, excuse me, a lot of people just like to pretend that you can't be racist against white people here in America. Excuse me. Excuse me. But yeah.
People back down to earth about how
Sorry
Japan
for
may be
being loud.
represented in television or otherwise. I mean, you've probably seen it. Most anime you watch have people of like every skin
Yeah. Anime that doesn't take place in Japan.
color and race and gender, and genuinely an impressive amount of diversity, which can potentially mislead people into how some areas of Japan may treat foreigners. Now, onto a problem that's mostly unique to Japan: over-sexualization and sex.
Actually, I'm gonna confirm this. When the disclaimer said that, like, oh, every anime that's not based in Japan, aka the story isn't based to be in Japan. I just remember every single time I watched Tokyo Ghoul, I didn't see a single person that was a darker skin color. I actually cannot remember seeing another character that's a darker skin color. I really can't. So basically, yeah. Also, Sarah, for the end, I don't think I've seen a skin color other than a very light skin color like white. So it's not wrong. It's totally not wrong.
Foreigners. Now, onto a problem that's mostly unique to Japan: over-sexualization and sex crime. If you're a woman, or in some cases, a man who dresses feminine, this part's for you.
Or just androgen. I'm not gonna say that word. People in general.
You notice how in
I don't know
literally
what that
every
word means.
anime, except ones made by a woman, Full Metal Alchemist being the fantastic example, largely speaking, all of the women have this extremely over-sexualized vibe to their clothes, mannerisms, and general demeanor? What about the amount of anime and manga that features some aloof loser somehow stumbling into some magical world? Or
High School DxD right there. I know nothing about this genre other than the general premise. Basically, High School DxD is close to being hentai without being hentai.
perfect school where a bunch of high school girls are just absolutely gobsmacked by him?
I hate this anime. I hate this anime because literally every single type of trope they put in a character that this guy some reason fucking has just because he talks to a god. I haven't even kid you the anime because how much it pisses me off. Literally, this guy right there in the middle, he's on some random ass bitch that literally talks to a god. And literally asking, like, he's like, oh, does he get me? He's like, oh, you are about to, but he made a mistake and said that he about to get 100 soulmates. And literally every single fucking girl he gets, the trope they put to this guy's girlfriends. See the pink girl and like, I think that's a gender or blonde. I can't tell. The tropes are massively pushed down your throat, and I hate it. The yandere is. I mean, the tsundere is tsundere to the max. The cute girl is cute girl to the max. The silent girl is silent girl to the max. The cold girl is cold girl to the max. There is no balance in it, and the anime pisses me off because the character development is goddamn horrible. That seems kind of stupid. This anime shouldn't have even been greenlit. I fucking hate it because they took the trope and maxed it out, and it's like it's like the worst romance anime I've ever seen because it's annoying. It literally makes every trope over the top. Like, I understand that anime is exaggerated, but they make it over the top and it's annoying. That's I watched it, but I had to stop it because I couldn't handle it.
Lolly culture into the media and in other places where.
Oh yeah, lolly disgusting. For anyone who doesn't know lolly, let me give you a quick. Just for those who don't understand lolly, let me just give you a quick premise. Basically, lolly's basically characters that look like kids. Basically, the type of stuff that. If you ever do Route 34 on them, you're basically a pedophile. Lolly is basically characters that look childish in like a physical form, like they look like kids. The long text speech part was kind of peak though. I don't like the character that. Okay, the character that was silent that used her phone to talk, she was bearable. I could say that. But the only one, the tsundere one, I really hate because any episode she's in, she annoys the shit out of me.
Where they really shouldn't be, like with massage parlors and escorts. Well, we'll get her into the media and in other places where they really shouldn't be, like with massage parlors. And
the best example I could find is from my archives. Why is there lolly at massage parlors? That's creepy as hell.
Escorts. Well, we'll get into the specifics later, but for now, let's preface the current situation with some actual events that have showcased how out of control this has gotten
Some actual
in
events.
Japan. I guess a good place to start would be the...
No, I've never.
Oh my god, I do not care. I'm not gonna play your game. You're interrupting my video on this
adult
guy talking about
escorts.
this.
I know there's often spotted and often had come up to us while walking around in Tokyo and Osaka. This obviously is not unlike many other places.
I don't have much footage of this, and there's basically nothing about it online. Excuse me, anywhere. But believe me, it happened a lot up and was
travel to.
bizarre.
But the difference here is the clothing and general aesthetic the organizations running these
I bit my ass as a young ass teenager or preteen. If you take a quick look, she looks too damn young to be even close to an adult. That or she has a baby face. The best I can do are show made cafe outfits which are similar but less. Oh, why the hell is she wearing that? Have you ever? Okay, I don't know how many animes you watch, but I've seen so many animes that is based on anime schools, or like there's an anime, not anime school, a Japanese school. Sorry. Every single time there's been mentioned like, oh, let's do a maid cafe. It's about pretty much a bunch of people under the age of teen thinking to do a maid cafe. Yeah, this is not new in Japan.
establishments and managing these escorts put on for tourists and locals alike. Many of them are dressed in childlike clothing or maid outfits and have tons of makeup on to further accentuate what are known as neonatal features, often involving the appearance of larger eyes alongside a smaller nose and mouth. Similarly, they talk in high-pitched voices like a young schoolgirl would in most of Japanese media. On top of this, I've even heard of establishments that specifically roleplay high school-style scenarios.
Oh, fuck! An image club, or imekura is a type of brothel in Japan, similar to fashion health parlors, differing in that image. Clubs are typically themed in the style of common or popular sexual fantasies, such as office, a doctor office, a classroom, or a train carriage. Sex workers employed at image clubs, whose activities are usually limited to is oral sex? Does that mean anal sex? Where exaggerated costumes inappropriate to the setting and the desire of the customer. Image clubs simulating what? Hold on, let me read this slowly. Image clubs simulate the molestation of females. I'm a little bit surprised at this, but not fully, because I've heard that rape hentai exists. Oral 6 is 6'9". Did you Google that or like fuck no? Yeah. For some reason there's like, it's not the first time. There's actually, there is P-Court about literally I'm talking about hentai one. There's porn about basically rape type of porn for anyone who's into like getting off to someone getting raped and stuff. But yeah, it's not that also exists. I don't know how much there is, but I know that exists. I haven't watched it, but I know it exists. Train passengers become popular molestation of female train passengers become popular in the wake of stricter enforcement of laws against groping on trains. Image clubs may, okay, I know this one, like groping things, because like literally I've seen hentai, literally, like I've seen multiple images of hentai and some hentai videos. Literally, people fantasizing on having intimacy on public trains in Japan. Though you probably could get away with that in America as long as nobody calls the cops on you for public indecency. Image clubs may offer itemized pricing for particular services, such as taking instant photographs, removing a woman's underwear, or why would you remove a random woman's underwear? Damn, those people are creeps. Those people specific. I'm not saying all Japanese people, but those ones are specific. We have those type of people here in America. Believe it or not, they're just probably, if you figure out who they are, they're probably gonna be ostracized or take it home. They take off woman's underwear and possibly take it home. What? Women working at image clubs are paid around 30,000 to 35,000 yen per day and may make more than 1 million yen per month. Hold up. 1 million yen to USD. So a month they might make 6,880. That's not bad, actually. That's actually not bad. That's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. Excuse me.
For customers if they pay a certain fee, often revolving around a classroom
That is all messed up. Yeah. But have you ever played GTA 6 where people literally use sex workers and then literally off them? That's probably America. Like, literally, if you think that's bad, I'm pretty sure hookers and like sex workers over here have a chance of getting killed. So it's just as bad as in America.
setting or a public transport setting.
Excuse me.
This is really unlike anywhere else I've ever been to or heard of, and it really prefaces this situation on how out of control it has gotten. That's not to mention other strange things, like that used panties vending machine, or
Okay, I didn't know about this one. Yup, masturbation sleeves is in this one.
billboard showing
Is that like out of text or is that part of the machine?
young anime women in bikini.
Guys, see that one in the middle? That's Lolly. See the one in the middle? That's Lolly. That's exactly what Lolly is. That's Lolly. This one is literally a child. Yeah, because that's Lolly. That's Lolly. Over here in America, it's banned. I wish they banned it over there, but it's a different country, so I can't really. It's my opinion that I think they should ban Lolly over there too, but it's a different culture, so I can't really like force them to do anything. I took this photo in the main part of Akihabara. Akihabara.
Bikinis or other forms of revealing clothing everywhere. I promise you I'm not being a prude. It doesn't offend me, but it's something off-putting to see in a public and well-traveled area.
Remember, this video is for those who are considering moving to Japan, not a critique of Japan culture. Yeah, I know there's downsides to this Japan, but still, this guy isn't like deterring me away. I'm very stubborn
Rather
like that.
than the usual red light district or
It's creepy, but there's just as creepy stuff over here in America.
a more adult-centered area. The over-sexualization and frequent pushing of childlike features in sexualized mediums has really created a lot of issues. What might those be? Well, let's talk about some of them. Some of us know the fact that, at least until recently, the age of consent in Japan was an eye-watering 13 years old.
Yeah, but they brought it up. They brought it up. You better bring that up, because I heard that they brought it up.
13! This led to a notoriously sketchy legal framework that often let people who abused kids off with minimal
We'll talk about these two later.
repercussions. This all came to a head in 2023 when a 56-year-old Japanese politician thought it would be, quote,
In the summer of 2021, when COVID-19 and the postponed Olympics were together delivering a heady mix of sweat and headlines in Japan, a 56-year-old male politician from the Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan, CPD, Honda Hirano, say that it was strange, that he might be arrested if he had intercourse with a 14-year-old who consented to the relationship. His comments caused an uproar and he was forced to resign, but this was just the tip of the iceberg.
strange if he was arrested for having intercourse with a 14-year-old girl.
'Cause I like high school girls, that's why!
Saying this in America would have your head splattered against
Yeah, if you're found to be a pedophile
Saying
in
this in
America,
America would have
a lot of people probably will want to hire a a hitman on you to kill you. Yeah, I can't see myself with but honestly, a lot of those here are a lot of people. I don't know if it's just jokes or if it's real, but a lot of people say that a lot of people in our government is a bunch of pedophiles. So, hey, when are we gonna kill those bitches?
Your head splattered against a brick wall by some people.
True.
But for most of recent Japanese history, this would have been seen as a problem.
This does not mean most Japanese people were okay with it. It just didn't really capture the public's attention for a long
By
time.
only a small but growing contingent of everyday citizens. The government, however, was silent on this issue for decades, still basing their age of consent on a law from 117 years ago. Finally, with these comments, the Japanese parliament voted to raise the age of consent from 13 to 16, which is
Yeah, I told you. It's not directly America's 18, but they did raise the age of consent to 16, which here in America, you can drive a car at 60, so I don't really care as long as that people are not fucking like literal like literal kids that just became teenagers. Like, they're not kids at the point. When you're 13, you just became a teenager, but you're literally just fresh into teenagerhood. So, yeah. But raising it to like 16, I don't really have an opinion about that. At least you're not fucking a literal newborn teenager. And when I say newborn, like I said, it's someone who just became 13. Japanese raises the age of sexual consent to 16 from 13, which was among the world's lowest.
still quite low compared to many other countries. They also finally redefined what they called, quote, forced intercourse.
They redefined what's considered forced intercourse. These provisions remain untouched for a century, even as something, I don't know, acknowledged. Other types of penetration as grape. After the legislature amended the bill in 2017, it recognized forced anal and what the hell that word they crossed. It also imposed harsher penalties for grape. However, it did not include penetration by a foreign object, denying some victims their day in court.
As now belonging under a general guise of non-consent. Basically, until very recently, there were numerous cases of non-consent.
Excuse me. At consent through a narrow lens in 2019, a lower court in Nagoya preference found a man not guilty for raping his. Hold on, I need to take a second before reading the rest of that. A lower court in Nagoya preference founder a man not guilty for raping his fucking daughter. What? The literal law system doesn't find you guilty for raping your literal flesh and blood. Huh? Pardon me? The fuck? You want to repeat that to me? If this guy's still alive, I'm fucking killing him. I don't give a fuck what their loss is over there. If that guy's still alive, I'm fucking offing him. The fuck is wrong with you? Nah, I don't give a fuck what species you are. You shouldn't be on this earth anymore. If you are willing to grape your fucking flesh and blood, get off this fucking planet. When she was between the ages of 14 and 19. What the fuck? The father's lawyers questioned the daughter's inability to resist his. Wait, what? The father's lawyers questioned the daughter's inability to resist his advances. I don't know, man, because a full-grown man is stronger than a fucking female teenager. What do you think, dumbass? What? Biologically, or even the transition, a female, regardless, is less strong than a male. Use your fucking brain, dumbass. Had she been younger than 13, she wouldn't have had to prove the grape wait, what? They say like, oh, you could be able to resist his advances, but if you're younger than a teenager, oh, you didn't have to prove that it was grape. What's the average IQ levels for the lawyers who was in this investigation? Because it's probably fucking dog shit. The Nagoya High Court.
Consensual but non-violent cases of this act occurring that were thrown out or significantly lessened in the severity if the victim was over the age of 13.
Previous law, which was read in, in 1907, a person aged 13 or older had to prove in court that they had resisted sexual advances in order to be able to prove that any encounter was non-consensual and thereby grape. I mean, that is quite different over here in America. You get scream grape and not even because nobody's gonna question you, and you're like, okay, it is different, and this case is horrible. But thinking about it here in America, grape is so frowned upon that literally a woman can lie that a man raped her, ruined his whole reputation. And the fact that there's a good, let's put it in this perspective. She wasn't even raped by the guy, but she just claims that he raped her. That man's reputation, even if proven innocent, fully innocent, without a doubt, people will still frown upon him, thinking he's a raper. His whole reputation ruined due to accusation. America, but over there you have to prove that you've been raped. So, highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows. Even though we're talking about literal kids becoming teenagers, like the age of literally teenager, 13. Excuse me. That is pretty much different.
13 and quote could not prove that the interaction was violent. Only if they were under 13 was the quote violence part ignored.
At consent through a narrow lens in 2019, a lower court in Nagoya. Oh no, I already read that.
On top of this, Japan has a huge issue with minor sex crimes such as battery, assault, or groping.
Yeah, I don't honestly. I don't know what the Americans crime for grape or sexual assault is for minors. I'm not sure. I never looked it up because I never thought to look it up and never thought I needed to look it up. I just can't. Number of cases of forcible sexual intercourses and indecencies recorded by the police in Japan from 2014 to 2023. Interesting to know how it's been getting worse since COVID. What?
On public transport. While officially, Japan's rate of non-consensual assault, sorry, I'm not trying to get demonetized, is more than
according to 2014's statistics, Japan's incidences of grape are astonishingly low, less than a incident, less than one incident per 100,000 people, in contrast to almost 31 per 100,000. Contrast to about almost 37 per 100,000 in the U.S. At first glance, this low rate paints Japanese survivors as liars. However, less than 5% of incidents are even reported for children and LGBTQ survivors. This rate is likely lower. So it's not about that their rates are lower. It's just that the amount of cases are just lower, or a lot of people who plead them are lower over there.
More than 37 times less than that of the US. That's because an estimated 95% of cases are not reported. And for children, as well as members of the LGBT community, it's likely a lot lower. On top of this, many schoolgirls report that this happened to them.
A reinforced sexual abuse culture. Sexual assault is rampant in Japan. Schoolgirls express how common it is. Wait, what? Schoolgirls express how common it is on public transportation with the daring assertion that every girl was a victim at some point where what? When professionals or teachers commit sexual abuse, loopholes allow them to transfer schools with impunity. Catholic clergy abuse men, women, and children alike, knowing that. Oh, okay, that makes sense now. That makes sense now. It's probably the religion over there that's making mass majority of the sexual assaults over there. All they had to do is mention religion there, and like that makes so much sense because that's how it is over here in America too. Knowing that church leaders leadership won't condemn them when stories emerge. Women are expected to endure sexual harassment and abuse in order to climb the corporate ladder, no matter the situation or sexual abuse. Yeah, I heard about this too. At least you can see in animes as well. I really don't know why the hell that the government allows us to go that much over the airless. And my only idea is that they probably have people in the government as well there that just don't care that much. Like literally, you're like, oh no, it's a culture. It's like the government also shapes culture. As long as the people enjoy the government or agree with the government can definitely shape culture. The rest of this article goes into a lot more detail. So basically, yeah, it's basically, I thought it was just like average people, but then the second it mentioned religion, like, yeah, that makes sense. Some reason, a lot of, if you guys don't understand, like, I think mass majority of sexual harassment or rape is based on people who are in religion. I can't prove that, but considering a lot, it's like either it's made in jokes. Also, it's real here in America that a lot of Catholic people do that, or a ton of Catholic priests. I wouldn't be surprised. Population low equals population low equal Hungary people. You need to give me more details why you even mentioned that. While we're talking about Japan right here, I don't understand what that's supposed to mean.
At least once while on public transport. I mean, Jesus, I remember one being on an escalator.
Oh yeah, because the population over there, they're having a population crisis. And if you guys didn't hear about this, Hungary literally is making that if you have kids, you don't have to pay taxes for your kids, or you get a tax exempt, or like anything that's for your child, they won't tax you for. But if it's for you, they'll probably tax you. But anything for your kids, they won't tax you for. Basically, making it to where raising kids in Hungary cheaper. Therefore, they're trying to combat population decline. Which I wish America did that too, but America is fucking retarded. No. Who the fuck is gonna praise the government over here? You have to literally understand at some point this government is fucking retarded. I spelled Hungary wrong. What? Oh, you meant to put hungry?
Report that this happened to them at least once while on public transport. I mean, Jesus, I remember one being on an escalator in Akihabara and seeing signs on the
Like food, yeah.
wall that said, quote, beware of upskirting. But what might be the root of all this behavior, and why has it continued to worsen over so many years? Well, my friend, that may come down to much of the media, and especially anime that's being produced in Japan, as well as a overall culture of silence that discourages.
Actually, a lot, some animes that see recently have more of the girls having a girl that jokingly raises their friends' skirts just to see their panties. Why? I don't know. Actually, the one that I remember is a scientific railgun, and a girl that gets her shit lifted every single time. And I don't think that they show panties under it, but they lift her. A girl character lifts the other girl's character skirt, and the bitch that gets her skirt lifted, she's a literal lolly. So, yeah. Every time I saw that in a scientific roca, I just questioned myself, why? Just stop lifting her fucking skirt. That's weird. Japan's male dominated conservative society. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. But it's probably a lot of the conservatives in their country are doing this. Exactly how a bit. I'm not gonna get into it. If I talk about America in this part, I'll be bringing up politics and shit. I'm not gonna do that. Japan's male dominated conservative society makes it difficult for victims to come forward. Legal red tape furthers complicates reporting and silences survivors. The Me Too movement never impacted Japan the way it did in the U.S., but it did encourage a new phrase, "We too." Can we please? Can America please? Can we do something to affect Japan enough where they gotta literally change, like the whole sex stuff or sexual harassment in Japan can probably change if foreigners probably allow them to have less money from us and stuff, or we like. Yes, we're in a different part of the country, but you have to understand that we probably have some power to literally force them to change. I hope I'm not sick. Because when I came back, my nose is doing this stuff, and I'm hoping my sinuses aren't bad. The sad thing is that when I was about 4, my grandpa told me my grandfather raped me and my big sister and my sister and me, and don't remember it since she was 6 and I was 4. He was messed up. Actually, hear this one thing. There's one relative I've never met, and I think my father or mother told me exactly why, and they told me it's because this relative did terrible things to them as a kid, and they didn't want to put me through that. And when they said that to me as a kid, I instantly like, oh, yeah, I don't want to be diddled.
Just people from speaking out against their abusers. I can speak from experience. Japan is a huge issue with everyday over-sexualization, especially.
Well, time to put we didn't start the fire by Billy Joe.
Especially of childlike features. As I mentioned earlier, I can give so many examples of instances where I saw escorts on the side of the street harassing friends of mine while.
Again, this is not a true example, but excuse me, but it demonstrates a rough idea
dressed
on
in
the
little
scenario.
maid skirts and wearing makeup that enhance their more childlike features. Other, less lascivious examples involve what are known as, quote, idols, which are usually young-looking adult women in largely revealing clothing that sing and dance for crowds of older men in a weird hybrid of anime.
Yo, I saw literally a music video.
Adult women in largely revealing clothing.
I literally saw them, and that's not large revealing. You need to give me a better example, because that just looks like a fucking schoolgirl outfit. Again, notice the obsession with schoolgirls. Okay, then again, the second I saw the disclaimer, I'm gonna back away. I just like, that's not revealing, but then they say notice the obsession with schoolgirl outfits, and I'm like, okay, never mind, I take that back.
That sing and dance for crowds of older men in a weird hybrid of anime and real life.
This is you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this one thing. I wish a lot of guys in the world were more attracted to older people, less than younger people. Because the thing is, the truth behind it is that, it's a lot of heterosexual guys who are into younger people, who are basically the ones who are the predators. And I'm pretty sure that's truth without me having to look it up. Because I've heard of way more heterosexual crimes like this where people younger than them, basically underage people that they're preying on, than I see with other people. If you know what I mean. That they try to claim that they're the ones doing it, which is not true. Well, there are some of them, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, literally, there's like more heterosexual people doing this than like other sexualities. I was watching the new My Hero Academia anime called Vigilantes, and there is a character named Pop Step, and she wears very revealing clothes. How young does she look? How, or do you look up her age? Cause I just I'm willing to bet that she's probably a teenager. If it's an adult, then I'm willing to look aside because I don't give a fuck. Like, for example, Lady or Miss Midnight, like Miss Midnight from like My Hero Academia. I don't care. She can look all sexual shit. She's a fucking adult. I don't care.
Revealing clothing that sing and dance for crowds of older men in a weird hybrid of anime
Nah, bro, let the pop step be. Read the entire series.
and real life. Here's a video I got in Osaka of this very thing happening randomly when I was walking down the street.
There's a literal guy that looks like he's in his 50s or 60s. See that? Okay, I'll show you. See this guy right here? He looks like he's really in his 50s or 60s. What the hell?
This place fucking rules. As I mentioned
Wait,
earlier,
what?
this place fucking rules.
He just said this place fucking rules. The thing is, it's weird that a lot of adult guys want to see younger women do all this stuff. But the only thing I gotta say is, as long as they're not touching them, I don't really care. As long as you're not forcing yourself on top of them, I don't really care. Because, listen, you have eyeballs, you got your shit. I can't force you to stop looking at them. But I gotta say, just don't touch them.
As I mentioned earlier, if you've ever watched like an anime before, you've seen how often high school kids, young girls, and even trans people are sexualized.
Okay, for example, Felix is not trans, he's a femboy. But I can understand what you mean. I know he is not trans. Oh. That's right, just say he's not trans, he's a femboy. The first thing I read is that he's not trans. I'm like, okay, he caught me. He probably saw me about to say that. I know he's not trans, but feminine men are often sexualized and that can be led to sexualizing trans women. Okay, fair point. Next,
A great
next
example
one.
is an anime like Dr. Stone, which I myself really like, but there are multiple instances of often female characters who are canonically 16
Sorry to show this clip again, but it's relevant. Oh, I
or
forgot.
younger having
I forgot that. Oh, I forgot that she literally. I forgot that she's. I don't think that they mentioned she's an adult.
very extreme proportions and a large focus on said body
I completely forgot that. I thought she was an adult.
parts, often unnecessarily. I don't really need to list out more examples because I'm sure you can come up with your own.
Because I forgot that well, she's not part. Okay, so basically, Senku and his like two buddies in the beginning, they are in high school. But that one girl, the blonde chick, or not, listen, not let me say bad, not blonde chick, the blonde female there, she's not part of that. She's actually part of like civilization after the stone the restoning age that came from the Medusa and Dr. Stone. Basically, she's from a tribe.
On top of this, Japan has a huge issue with virginity. Yeah,
They have a huge issue with virginity. A quarter of Japanese people in their 20s and 30s are virgins. It's not that different here in America, to be honest. Study finds. I know there might be some people who might be annoyed that I'm comparing how worse sometimes America is and stuff. But you gotta understand that, like I said earlier, I do not care about America, and I will throw it under the bus whenever I can. I've really heard a lot of terrible things in Japan, and this might deter you away from Japan. But you gotta understand that if you want to be realistic and be fair with Japan, you have to compare the other dark parts about your country. But if you're living in the USA, you have to compare the dark parts about USA. Or if you don't live in USA, like you live in like a different country, you have to compare the dark parts of your country, contrast and comparing it to Japan, and see if it's truly as bad. I'm not saying it's not trash; it's terrible, but you have to give them. You have to be like, hey, wait a second. You gotta compare how trash your country is first, compared to it. You can't just like throw Japan under the bus.
Really. According to a study conducted in 2019, over a quarter of Japanese people under the age of 40 are virgins.
Nearly a quarter of Japanese people under age 39 are virgins, according to a new analyst by a team of researchers at University of Tokyo. Excuse me. The findings published in BMC Published Health show that Japanese young adults are having less sex today than their counterparts were decades ago. Both men and women are having their first sexual encounters later in life, and many are entering their 30s as virgins. Excuse me. Makoto, I'm gonna consider that as spamming emojis. Let's not spam emojis, okay? I didn't actually spam emojis right now. Pop Step's real name is Kazuho Haneyama, and she is 15. Kohaku. Who the fuck is? Oh, you meant to say Kohaku Haneyama.
Virgins. While this may seem like a bit out of left field, bear with me here. This issue is largely driven by an overworked nation of young people who have
Post-war Japan was known for lifelong employment, but in recent years there has been a decline in stability employment opportunities. Long working hours prevail at many companies, and this might leave less time for pursuits meeting market. Then why don't they? I don't know. I heard this one thing where there's literally a place where literally people hang signs that say like, where there's a place where there's a market where people have signs that saying who they are and give you details and stuff. It's like IRL Tinder, probably kind of, where you can look at people for potential mates, and there are people looking to be married. So I don't know if that's in Japan or some other Asian country, but I know it's in the Asian country. Why don't they just go there? Oda said, who added that there were stronger association between socio-economic factors and the likelihood of virginity among men. Maybe this is probably because America nuked a good portion of America, which wiped out a ton of people. So maybe I'm not saying that's not directly the source, but it's one of the features. I mean, less people there that wants to be there, and also less jobs, considering that whole place was nuked, therefore destroying a lot of their culture or like a lot of their land and businesses and stuff. A lot of people. So yeah. I'm not saying it's nothing, but I'm saying it might be one of the reasons.
Despite the government attempting to spur development in this way, they've so far failed. Time or ability to meet each other. Despite the government attempting to spur
Tokyo AP, a Japanese cabinet minister in charge of tackling the country's declining birth rate. Oh, give me a second. I need to put my nose again. I really hope I'm not sick. Sorry about this, guys. I don't mean to. Let me mute up. Okay, Tokyo Japanese cabinet minister is in charge of tackling the country's declining birth rate, unveiling a draft proposal Friday aimed at reversing the downtrend, including increased subsidies, subsidies for children, education, and salary increase for younger workers to incentivize marrying and having kids. Maybe they didn't maybe if they sexualized older people, they wouldn't do this as much. Cause I don't think a lot of like maybe it's that there's you got a lot of guys in Japan that think with their dicks. That's probably one of the worst reasons. Wheelbet is best. Exactly, agreed.
Development in this way, they've so far failed. It's a crisis that also affects nations like South Korea and even
Total fertility rate in leading Asian economies. Okay, this is just in Asia. Thailand, China, Taiwan, Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, South Korea.
China to an extent. What this means is that, importantly, a lot of people, specifically men, have less knowledge and experience surrounding courtship and romance, which leads to the unfortunate reality that anime and NSFW anime, again I'm trying to keep my monetization, have led to unrealistic expectations for many. Anime such as Steins Gate, while absolutely a great anime, have perpetuated scenarios like this. A man who's a giant loser that suddenly gets involved with like 40 attractive women that also finds the love of his life among them.
That's not
While I'm
gonna
not
happen.
saying this is impossible.
That's not. Yeah, I'm not saying that's not strictly impossible. But see how average this guy here looks? I don't know if you guys can see him past my out there. He's just like the average guy. I don't think he's about to get a huge bitch like this. That's red hair hottie. I don't think so. And by the way, this is actual red hair, even though this is fictional. This is real red hair, contrasting what people call red hair, which is fucking ginger. There's no such thing as red hair. It's just orange hair now.
40 attractive women that also finds the love of his life among them. While I'm not saying this is impossible, it has gradually progressed to now, in more modern anime, we have what's known as the genre of isekai. Isekai, for the uninitiated, is a genre that you
Okay, let me quickly say it before he says it. Isekai is basically you take a character, take them from one world, throw it in another, either by death, teleportation, or yada yada yada. They just travel from one world to another, or one reality to another. Isekai.
probably heard parts of before. Someone in a usually shitty state of living one day dies or magically wakes up in some fantasy.
Yep. Isekai. Translate different world. Or another world or other world. It's a subgenre of fiction. It includes novels, light novels, films, manga, webtoons, anime, and video games. That notice how they literally don't say cartoon here, because cartoons usually don't do this because they're fucking stupid. And video games that revolve around a displaced person or people who are transported to and have to survive in another world, such as. Pardon me for that. Survive in another world, such as a fantasy world, game world, or parallel universe, or etc. With or without the possibility of returning to the original world. Isekai is one of the
fantasy or video game world that they now have to explore and figure out. Well,
yeah, basically, I just explained to you guys in a quick
not
term.
all follow this exact formula. It has become increasingly common. What has developed that
Sword Art Online is not technically an isekai. I would not throw. I don't know why he threw a Sword Art Online in there. But then again, this is the same guy who literally called anime cartoons earlier, so this guy's not the smartest. I've watched all of Sword Art Online. I wouldn't call Sword Art Online an isekai. I wouldn't. I can see why you will call it kind of an isekai. But then you're kind of saying that every time you slap on a viewer headset IRL that you're now a isekai yourself, which is not true. So I would not consider Sword Art Online an isekai at all.
out of this is an increasing amount of stories.
You
that
have to be like physically there, not like virtually where you can just like take off the headset anytime you want. Except for like in the beginning, like for Sword Art Online, that's not how it works in the beginning. But though later on it kind of does work like that. But in the beginning, Sword Art Online, it doesn't work like that. You're kind of stuck in there.
involve
Forced labor.
Yeah, no, and I don't mean the horrors of real-life examples of this. I mean a male loser archetype being teleported into a video game world where he purchases
Dude, these are literal all chosen.
women and doesn't necessarily use them, but it's very much implied that's the case. Well, this
Jose Cafe made a great video on this if you want to learn more. The worst Isekai trope. I
concept
can't
falls nowhere
defend
near
this at all,
universal.
'cause there's
Many
no
shows
defending
incorporate
it.
creepy elements such as this in an attempt to either satisfy the creator themselves by using a self-insert, or to satisfy often male fans who have been gradually lulled into a normalization of this concept.
This is not really innocent. Debbie just suggested, and I'm not taking chances. This is known as fan service. Yeah, let's say I wish fan service was nerfed in animes. Like I think there's. I don't think I'm not gonna complain about fan service, but I think there's a bit much of it. It's more of a dark theme type of thing. Yeah, I agree.
And to be fair, shows that feature this are often criticized by parts of the Japanese public and the anime community, but they're still being made to this day, which tells me that there's definitely an audience for them. The
Yeah.
reason I talk about this is to point out its ramifications. In other words, how exactly does this affect everyday life in Japan? Well, I have a couple anecdotes from my time in Japan that can hopefully help illustrate this.
Alright.
During my last few days in Japan, I was staying in Tokyo, specifically a couple blocks away from Akihabara, also known as Electric Town. While this place is genuinely pretty cool and has lots of good food and shops, it's
Hell yeah.
other things that were a bit of a turnoff in terms of my enjoyment of the area.
What would that
Billboards
be?
and signs often
Oh, this image again with the lolly in the middle of the thing. Isn't that one at the top left? Wait, isn't this one over here at the top left? Isn't it? Like, she looks close to lolly, but I know she's not direct lolly, but she's like close to it. But the one in the middle, that's 100% lolly. You can't argue.
featured young-looking, scantily clad anime girls plastered everywhere, often mentioning new shows or advertising.
Wait, did they actually show the pants? Oh, what the fuck?
Products. And while yes, this is not a unique concept to Japan, I promise
That's Lolly right there. This one holding the, I think that's an otter. I'm not sure. This right here, that's Lolly.
I've been to Vegas. I've never seen anything quite like this. It's genuinely a one-of-a-kind thing. Continuing the story, I was looking for a Hunter x Hunter figurine I wanted in a gift for somebody else, so I went on Google Maps to try to find a store that sold it. I wandered around with a friend until we stumbled across one specific store. As we walked in, it was noted that the store we needed to go to was on the 3rd story. So we got in the elevator, noticed
Wait,
the
isn't
third
this the recording where he said that like some
story was
weird
blocked
stuff
off.
happened?
We figured we'd check out the 2nd story just in case there was some glitch or it was mistyped or something. When those elevator doors opened,
They blurred that or you would have got demonetized. I'm not monetized on this channel yet. I need like 500 subscribers for like partial monetization and 1,000 for fully monetization. So this channel isn't monetized.
we were immediately blindsided by naked anime women everywhere, some even being underage.
Where are we right now? Dude.
Please say this was in a red district. Please say this was in a red district. Please, 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 please say this was in a red district. Please say this was in a red district.
Yeah, oh my fucking god, we should do.
Safe to say we didn't really stay long. This was not a one-time occurrence either. We'd frequently wander into stores and start climbing stairs to see where we'd end up, only to find ourselves in the back of the store with NSFW manga and other lewd images plastered all over the wall. Even figurines in regular shops that had storefronts.
To be fair, you can't confirm that these are kids. So, also I can't read Japanese, so I can't confirm either.
Facing the street often featured hypersexualized feminine characters on full display for
Okay, that part fine.
everyone to see. Again, I'm not trying to be a prude. I'm a grown-ass adult. This doesn't really offend me.
Yeah, but like the sexualization is like it's out there.
It's just how I know a lot of people might find this sort of thing weird and uncomfortable. I know that Akihabara isn't the sole representation of Japanese art and culture, but it's important to note that it's a center of nerd culture in Japan, and it's a good representation of anime and
I go check out Japanese art culture.
a decent chunk of Japan's art culture. The further ramifications of the normalization of this kind of sexualization of childlike concepts and a generally lax attitude towards sexualization in the first place.
Want to know exactly? One person that my own manager said the only reason why they don't really look at anime is because the sexualization to women. And does Japan not know if they sexualize women less and stuff, they will probably have even more money than America has ever? Like, literally, you get way more customers. I know that there'll probably be still people who want that, but if you had more of a genre, like a bigger genre, less sexualized women characters, just like Studio Ghibli did, you'll probably get way more customers.
Show themselves in the laughably light punishments child offenders get in Japan, as well as a hush-hush culture involving
Japan's male-dominated. Yeah, already read that.
offenses on people of all ages. Good examples of this include manga writer and artist Nobuhiro Watsuki, who, after being caught possessing underage material,
Oh, what the fuck? In November 2017, police found DVDs with footage of naked girls in their early teens in Watsuki's Tokyo office. Tokyo police raided Watsuki's home as part of an investigation into the purchase of child porn. The search uncovered about 100 child porn DVDs. He was on hiatus after the details of Watsuki's charges were made public in February 2018. Watsuki was fined 200,000 yen, about US. Oh, that's about $1,900 in US currency. The Hokkaido arc resumed serialization in June 2018.
was given a fine of $1,800. He was actually, at the time, currently writing a manga that had to be put on hiatus after his charges went public. Then, after he got caught and paid the fine, the manga resumed serialization, like nothing ever happened. Even if someone got off with a light punishment for such a crime basically anywhere else, there's no way in hell they'd ever see the light of day in that industry again. Similarly, the writer Tatsuya Matsuki was arrested and charged with 2 counts of indecent act on a female.
Tokyo District Court handed a guilty verdict and sentenced to the at-age manga writer Tatsuya Matsuki on the charge of committing a coerced incident act on a female middle school student on Wednesday. Matsuki is sentenced to 1 year and 6 months in prison, but the sentence is suspended for 3 years, and Matsuki remains in good behavior for 3 years. He will not serve time in prison. He was caught committing coerced incident act and probably something like naughty shit on a female middle school student. What?
A middle school student. He was given a sentence of 1.5 years, but it was instead suspended and he walked away a free man. Now, to be fair, his manga did not resume after this.
No, we don't want a predator to make a manga. We don't want no predator to make a manga. Fuck that guy. He don't deserves our cash. So you have any bleach for my eyes? I have demon water. It's better than holy water.
But it still details how offenders often receive very light punishments for their actions. That's on top of the earlier mentioned cultural issues with calling out this
Japan's a male. Oh, I already read that.
Publicly. So many cases like this probably go unreported or are thrown out privately in some way. Even if a punishment is given, it's often in terms of a civil case where a victim is awarded money for
civil equals monetary damage as such, no criminal recurrent or jail time.
Damages, but not a criminal case where the perpetrator actually received jail time for their actions.
Sumi.
Is Japan a really fun place to visit for most people?
Yes.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes. But he was just talking about the dark sides of Japan. That's what this video was about.
I had an absolutely fantastic time while visiting, and I recommend it to basically anybody who's fortunate enough to go. And
I actually was watching. Never mind. I was gonna say I was watching one time ISO Speed's live stream on Japan, but then I just remembered no, that was South Korea.
I guess in that sense, I should extend a huge thank you to my patrons and everybody who watched my videos, because the revenue I've acquired from running this channel actually helped pay for that trip. So every single one of you are basically a patron for this video. Yeah,
but I skipped every one of your ads.
hearing what you've heard today, would you actually move there?
Yes. Yes. Though I probably would, if I brought kids over there, I would probably give them a taser they can use. Cause if they don't look at much at sexual harassment, then they can't really say shit when a kid, you know, doubles down and tases the guy's ball sack.
Given the frequently abusive work culture, low wages, difficulties of social integration, volatile economy, and over-sexualized media, while I don't believe Japan is the only nation with issues like this, again, let me make that very clear. The main reason
Thank you, because I was trying to say that this whole time. If you think this is terrible in Japan, you need to compare any other country. Because America may not seem as worse, but America is as shitty as trying to hold back the over-sexualization. So Japan isn't the worst one. He's just covering Japan here. So, and that's what I was just trying to talk about. But this is me personally. I'm just saying, like, that's fair. But for me, I'm just talking about someone who, like, really wants to move to Japan in the future. This doesn't deter me because I know that places like America is as worse or maybe even worse. Maybe not with, like, younger women, but definitely terrible in the over-sexualization and sexual crimes.
This video is to help break the myth of Japanese exceptionalism.
Being charged with CP is wild. Do you know how many times someone in America got caught with CP? I don't know how many times someone got caught with CP in Japan, but damn, there's quite a bit of people caught with CP in America.
And bring some people back down to reality regarding the place. Now, of course, there are exceptions to this rule. I've known of people who have moved to Japan and have been able to thrive just fine. However, I really believe those people are outliers, as I've heard many more stories of people feeling lonely, isolated, and generally depressed after moving there, especially coming
Maybe just learn Japanese and just like, you don't need to try to make friends, just like learn Japanese to at least communicate.
from a hyper-social society like America, or even various parts of Europe. I know this video is very different from my usual content, but please let me know if you want more of this content by subscribing and letting me know your thoughts in the comments. If you believe I'm wrong in any
There was CP in one of my friend's Discord servers, and my friend locked that server down. Oh damn.
of my opinions, or do you think I understand it?
Your dino, I had to end it on Xavier. I don't know what that means.
Some problems. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. But other than that, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.
Regardless of me, I'll be like some of the shit, like, it's not that bad, and some of the shit, like, the worst part with sexual crimes is, like, terrible. I actually give a round of applause to this guy. This guy made an amazing video, so if you guys want to go check it out without me interrupting all the time with my reaction, I'll leave, I haven't left the video in the description, but I'll do that soon enough. And also, I'm going to slap it in the live chat for anyone who wants to watch it, wants to quickly click it there. But this guy did amazing. This did not deter me away from wanting to move to Japan, though it does open my eyes more to more dark things about Japan. It's sad, but I can't really do anything. I'm not Japanese, so I can't really like go into politics and try to change this. Also, lovely Sakura transitions. No, I'm not buying this stuff. I'm not buying this stuff. I'm not buying this stuff. I'm not buying that either. 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 Okay. Wait, what? Oh. But yeah. Guys, if you want me to react to more like anime stuff for like this channel, please. Oh, by the way, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me just hit the like button here. Let me share a copy link. Yeah. If you guys want to see more of this type of content where I react to like a Japanese type of content, or like talk about Japanese type of content, or anything talk about anime related react to on the channel, make sure to subscribe right now because I'll potentially do it. Even though I have a reaction channel, I can do that here too. Was this guy named Jax? Yeah. Jax's video The fuck? Free raid. I'm actually gonna do another live stream after this. We're gonna be doing some Street Nova, so not raiding yet. On that, if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe right now and become an anime familiar. Also hit the like button and share, or else you will not get any more of my content and you'll be missed out on a lot of content. Do you want to miss out on a lot of good content like this? Or see me reacting to any more of this stuff, or watching me playing like anime games or anything anime related? Then don't trip and subscribe right now and hit the like button and share, or else you will miss out on it. It only takes a few seconds and it's totally free, and it helps you get more on my amazing content. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Much love to you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. It's Shy.